Crosshair Raw, that's the worst person you want to go after because he's good, bro.
Yeah, bro.
He's real good. I was surprised.
That's what I liked about this show is like they showed each character like what they like, what basically what their specialty is. Like obviously, Wrecker's like the brawler. Like he'll go head over anybody. He don't care and like what.
Bro, Wrecker is like the Hulk.
Right, for real.
Yeah,
who he is the Hulk in this.
Wrecker has superhuman strength. Hunter has superhuman senses. Crosshair has superhuman vision, like accuracy. Echo, is just different. Echo is just a half robot.
Got the brains.
And then Chips is his name?
Is it Chips or Tech?
Tech?
I thought it was Tech.
Tech has superhuman tech expertise.
Yeah.
So it's like they're all super. And that's how I wish they would have made more of them, like a platoon of them, but I guess you only really need 5. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it's interesting that, like, I wonder if they're actually going to show us how the Empire shuts down the Camino facility, because they didn't renew the contract. Remember, at the end of episode 1, they did not renew their contract.
He was like, that remains to be seen if we even basically still need you.
Exactly. So they didn't renew their contract, and when the Kaminoan woman walks into the prime minister's room, that he's pretty much like talking over with himself the contract they were talking about. And it's interesting to me, like I wonder how this is going down. I wonder how it's going to go down, because it's going to go down messy.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely is, bro.
But yeah, it's a good series so far. I know we're only 2 episodes in, but I'm invested in this one.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna be real with you. I wasn't a huge fan of the Bad Batch. I liked the episodes in the Clone Wars. I was like, oh yeah, they were cool ass clones. I don't really know much about them. I know a lot about a lot of the characters. I know they're different. I know that their programming is different because they actually don't have the same programming as the other ones do. And I was just really interested. But I thought about it like, I wonder what the show was going to be about. Once the first episode started and I seen Kanan Jarrus, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good ass show.
Yeah. I like Bad Batch back when they were in Clone Wars. I actually did like them. I was like, yo, they hella different.
Right, hella different. That's funny. Did you mention that, Deontay? Was it Solomon? Mentioned that Hunter is pretty much Rambo.
Oh, Rambo?
Yeah, Rambo. Because I think that was Solomon, because I think they actually based the character off of Rambo.
Yeah, that's like one of the first thing I thought it was Sylvester Stallone when I seen him with the headband, the war paint. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a funny one. He looks like Rambo, bro. And Rambo has the ability. Rambo was a really good tracker, and like his senses and everything was really heightened in the wars. I think that was a really good point to pull. Mm-hmm. I wonder though, is Hunter going to take the father figure for Omega?
That's what it seemed like. I feel like that's what they're doing with most of these shows. It seems like most of these people that have like either a dark past or like they looked at as soldiers, they have some type of kid that comes in to bring balance to them. It seemed like I've seen that with the Djarin, now it's with Hunter. I see it's a lot of that. It seemed like.
And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's gonna probably make Hunter just a tad bit soft.
I think that's why Crosshair went at him. He's like, this situation making you soft, bro. You messing up our plans. Like, you messing up the mission. Like,
and you know what? Like, Frank, you might be able to attest to this. When you think about it, that's just us being a dad, though. Like, like that's just a lot of people. It's like, okay, like, like we was reckless and everything, but then we got this kid now. We can't be that. Like, look at what God was doing. Like, he was burning down places. Like, he was like, nah, I'm gonna flood everything. And then all of a sudden he was like, nah, I got Jesus now. So, I can't be that reckless no more. Like, you know, it's like that's just what happens when you got a kid. So Hunter is gonna look at Omega as like, you know, like what you were saying, like he's gonna look at her like I'm gonna be the father here. I'm gonna be the father in this situation. So no matter what I do is gonna be for the best of this child now. That's why he was like, "No, you're gonna go with Cut because it's the best thing for you." Then he's gonna be like, "Okay, you want to stick with us? Okay, you can stick with us then."
Yeah, that's
I don't know if I
the
can do
difference
my
at
food stamp,
first.
but I'm gonna do my best though.
I
Right.
wonder if they're going to bring his wrath. So, like, it's one thing to, like, shoot at a girl that you might become, that might be, like, your surrogate child. It's another thing to connect to that child over a few episodes and then have that child kidnapped or something. And then you go freaking Rambo on their ass. They got your baby, you feel me? I think something like that would be a great spin. Like,
that's gonna probably happen within the last, like if they're doing 10 episodes, that's gonna happen in like episode probably 8. It's gonna basically be just like what happened in season 2 of Mandalorian. Like, you know, it happened like they kidnapped them in episode 6, and episode 7 they're thinking of the plan to get them back. Episode 8, here we go.
Right.
So for this one, they're gonna probably do it at episode 8. She got kidnapped. Episode 9, they're gonna need to go and get some kind of recruitment, which could very well be them maybe trying to get Crosshair back. And then, like once Crosshair is back, then episode 10, that's probably like I could see Crosshair dying in episode 10. If they do it like that. And like
what you just
each
said,
season at the end, they would probably kill off one of the Bad Batch.
now I do believe that, and if they find a way where he comes back to the team, then I will believe they'll kill him off. If like he finds a way just to make amends with Hunter and all like that, he comes back, I do believe they will kill him off at the end. Yeah, if that's the case, I do believe that will happen. Cause I'm like, that would be the biggest heartbreak right there. Knowing, okay, we got him back on the team, but then all right, now we gotta kill him off now. Like, you know, Star Wars gonna probably hit you with a curveball with that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie though. I think the first one to die might be Tech. I can see the first one dying will either be Tech or Echo. Just mostly Tech, just because he's got like a lot of the strategy going on. So they're gonna start being
knowing that you ain't got that no more. Right? Yeah, that could be. Yeah. The thing about it, each one could be a valuable loss.
It's going to be Hunter and Wreck, though. Those are going to be the 2 heartbreaking ones, Hunter and Wreck.
Now to think about it, I can see it. I can see of each of one. I can see them losing each one, like from each perspective. Like you said, like each one is so valuable to the team. You know what I'm saying? It's like Echo and Tech. Like they obviously like the smart ones. Everything they always figuring out the plan and always finding like a plan B to everything. So if you lose that, bro, you know like Hunter and them gonna have to figure out. You know what I'm saying? They know they gonna need them for surely. To like,
I like how they made. I put money on that. I put money on it, bro. That Kanan Jarrus is gonna pop up again.
Oh yeah.
And that, you know, they're probably, remember I said another Jedi is gonna pop up, and then their objective is going to align. It's probably them. And Kanan Jarrus probably befriends Omega, and then Omega starts knowing the truth of everything that happened. I say that because out of all the thousands of Jedi that you could have put in that first scene, you put Kanan Jarrus in there. When we already know his backstory because he has his own comic, 1, and 2, you could have easily shined a light on any other Jedi that the fans like. Why choosing Kanan Jarrus? So I think that he's gonna pop up again, and I think that you know, because he's a Jedi, they might send someone who got Force abilities or someone who's not just a regular trooper, maybe a bounty hunter or maybe something else. I don't know.
That could be somewhere along the lines of maybe the Inquisitors teaming up with Crosshair, because he's going to be like, wait, that's the Jedi that got away. No, I'm definitely going on this mission now because now I know I can get him. You know?
Probably. Like, and he's still, at this time, actually, I don't know how much time has passed between this episode and the next one. But if we're talking about it being a few days, he still has his lightsaber. And he's still on that planet. He doesn't get off that. Actually, he gets off that planet the next day. And he gets help from somebody. And then he cuts his hair and do some stuff. But, like, he's not far. He's not far from where they are right now. Sure.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next one. I'm interested to see where they go. I think Deontay, you might be right. They might go to a place, if not Tatooine, like it, because everyone who's not a friend of the Empire wants to go somewhere where the Empire has little presence.
It has to be somewhere in the Outer Rim.
Exactly. Right.
Hell, for all we know, they're going to probably go to Jakku.
Probably. I don't know. Yeah, Jakku's Outer Rim. I don't know where it is in the interstellar geography, but I'm sure it's in the Outer Rim.
I mean, like, or you know what? They could go back to that one planet where they found that one clone. Remember, like in the droids found him. He was working in like a soup kitchen or something. Which episode was that? It was in Clone Wars. Damn, I gotta look it up.
Okay. But yeah, I think that'd be a really great thing to do. I'm excited that we're still having content about Order 66 and like this time in the Star Wars timeline.
That's what confused me, because I didn't know that this was, most of these stories going forward, it's still based off the events that happened after Order 66. That's why I didn't know if this was like some new, basically like a new generation Star Wars, or basically we still like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was confused about the Mandalorian, because I wasn't necessarily sure what part of the timeline we was at. Then when they showed us like a timeline and all like that, that's why I'm like, oh, they must be talking about, you know what I'm saying, some stuff like later on.
Yeah, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, I don't remember, there's not much content about like Order 66 and maybe a year or two after. There's not much content about that, bro. We don't really know what happens after Order 66, besides in episode 3, which is like, you know, a few days after, but we only have that as a perspective of Obi-Wan and Yoda. Right? We don't really know what happens to the universe or to the galaxy or to the Jedi who are not Yoda and Obi-Wan. We don't really know what happens to these people. Like, you know, what happens to the Jedi who goes back to the Coruscant and get massacred? You know what I'm saying?
That just made me realize something. Like, I remember when you said a while back when we did the first video, when you were saying how Yoda failed the Jedi Order. Like, is that basically how it fell in line with Luke? Like, when he tried to do that with Ben Solo and how that basically fell apart and everything. So now it's like you got to find that new Jedi to try to build off what basically Luke Skywalker did and everything. Which is kind of crazy, because it's like he was basically trying to get him prepared, like let him know what you about to do, and then he basically ended up falling in line of doing the same thing Yoda did.
Right? Which is what's interesting, because Yoda and subsequently Luke preaches the same thing, which is like fear leads to hatred. Hatred leads to anger. Anger leads to the dark side. And my thing is like, bro, y'all fear. Luke, the reason why Luke wanted to strike down his nephew is because he feared that Kylo could become another Darth Vader. And Obi-Wan, and Yoda, the reason why Yoda made a lot of the decisions that they made, such as joining the war, which they shouldn't have done, not teaching any of the Jedi how to control their feelings and how to, you know, control their passions. It literally was like, you don't, like, a Jedi is not supposed to have these feelings, so they don't have them. What the fuck?
He was definitely trying to hold some things back when it came to Anakin. Like, I remember when they had the meetings and all like that, when it would be him and Mace Windu and all like that. It would be certain missions that they'll try to send Anakin in, because they know how special Anakin was. But sometimes it would seem like Yoda was trying to hold back, because I think he knew basically about his past, his emotions and all like that. So yeah, I think that's probably what it could have been right there.
He did it, and you know, I preach it to it. Yoda's one of my favorite characters of all time, and I'll preach it to the end of the day. Yoda failed the Jedi Order twice over.
Hell yeah!
Twice over. One, he failed them by leading them wrong, and two, you failed to kill Emperor Palpatine, bro.
I think that's why he went into exile, because he was like, "Wow, bro was under our nose the entire time." And didn't sense it. Realistically, Yoda failed. Mace Windu failed.
Which is crazy. They looked at as the most respectable and powerful Jedis, right?
Mace Windu, okay, Mace Windu should have found out, but Mace Windu doesn't have a force ability like Yoda. Yoda is the strongest force ability in the Jedi Order at the time, right? Mace Windu was was the greatest battle master, or what we would call swords master. No one could beat Mace Windu. Not Yoda. No one could beat Mace Windu in a fight.
Which is why Sidious couldn't take him on with a lightsaber battle.
Boom. But
even with that was it that Sith screech that he does that basically like stuns people. It didn't phase Windu, but then again, Windu was a Sith at one point.
No,
not a Sith. He was a dark Force user.
He touched the dark side by when he had a mission one time, and he touched the dark side, and his anger took over and stuff. Like I would say, touch the dark side very loosely, but his anger took over, and he killed his enemies. Right? He was in the right to kill them. They were trying to kill him, but his anger went over. That's the reason why his lightsaber. Well, obviously his lightsaber is purple because Samuel L. Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber. But they made it make sense by saying that he was the one who actually touched the dark side, and it didn't like envelop him. So while he touched the dark side, he created a new fighting style, Ataru, and in that he doesn't teach it to nobody unless you're strong enough in the Force to not be persuaded by the dark side. But he taught it to two people, Gwendolyn Voss and one other person. Gwendolyn Voss's master. I forget his name. Anyway, I put all the blame on Yoda. Right?
All the blame goes on Yoda, yeah.
Yoda meditates not all day. Yoda meditates the most out of anybody else in the Order. You didn't think about that, bro? You didn't feel that? And he said he felt. Remember in episode 2, when he was talking about, he was in the Jedi Council room. He was talking to all the other council members. He was like, clouded is our judgment, or clouded is this decision. Like, the Jedi were being clouded. They couldn't really see stuff. That alone is a dark side power. You couldn't, come on, bro.
Ever since this dude came into power.
And then it's like, y'all were in the same room as bro, shaking his hands, talking to him, working with him. Y'all couldn't feel anything, but the reason why they couldn't feel that, and they explain it later, the reason why they couldn't feel any of that dark side power, or they couldn't see, or they were clouded, is because they were preoccupied with war.
Yeah.
So with war comes trauma, comes emotions, comes pain. With all those things clouding your thoughts and your being, you can't really think straight. You leave one.
But the thing is, though, he should have. But the thing is, though, they should have still known that before the war even started, because he was like, clouded your future is. But they also because he kind of knew it was clouded just a little bit. But then again, who was around? Palpatine. So there's something with Palpatine. Like maybe we're giving Yoda too much credit for leading the Jedi down that path, because maybe Sidious was just that strong in the dark side to where he can do that. So maybe Yoda's not, don't get me wrong, Yoda's still at fault, but Yoda very well could have a reason for not sensing it, because Palpatine was that much darker in the Force than Yoda was in the light. Because if you think about it, because Sidious basically, Sidious didn't come up with the rule of two, but he followed it to a T and was also like, shoot, I'm gonna raise this little one right here to be my apprentice when he gets older, but until then, I'm gonna play this role. Sith don't do that. They're like, okay, I want this new Padawan right now. I'm gonna kill you. You're my pupil now. But Sidious was like, nah, when he gets older, I want him, so I'm gonna have these two going at it until he's old enough to. Sidious was that dark.
Yeah, he really was plotting, because it's like, as soon as when he got just a feeling of what Anakin can be, especially when he was tapping into emotions, he completely took advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like to a point he took control of it.
In episode 1, think about it. In episode 1, right at the end, he said, "We're gonna look into your future with great interest," and I was like, "What you mean by that?" And it was by then, didn't he kill Darth Plagueis when after Anakin blew up the Separatist ship controlling the droids? Didn't he kill his master by then? Because he was like, oh.
He killed his master right after he became senator. So in that time frame, yeah.
So it was like right around that time.
Yeah.
So because he knew.
Oh, he killed his master. Sorry, he killed his master before he became senator, but around that same time.
Is senator or chancellor?
So, senator.
Okay.
So he became senator in episode 1, at the end of episode 1. And then he became chancellor. Wait. Let me do
and I figured out what planet it was. It was season 5, episode. What was it? Season 5, episode 12, where the droids went to a place called Pons Ora, up on the planet Abafar. That was the one where I was talking about.
Okay.
Let me see.
This one.
I don't know if you can see it here.
Hey, the lady that got killed off in the beginning of the first episode, the Jedi's, the lady that was basically asking like, where's the rest of the help and stuff at? Was she in Phantom Menace? Was the girl that was in the live action version in Phantom Menace? Was that the same person?
Who we talking about?
The girl that got killed off in the beginning of the Bad Batch, the first episode. The lady that got killed, the dude with the Jedi. Yeah. Was she that same girl from Phantom Menace? That one that was in that meeting talking to them and all like that? So like she looked.
I think so.
Yeah, she looked familiar. I feel like I've seen her before. Yeah.
Yeah, Deborah Balaba is a council member, bro. They killed a council member, bro. Easy.
Yeah, that's all I was like. I knew she looked familiar. That's all.
That they killed in episode 3 were the council members. Like Plo Koon. Then you had what's his name? I can't think of his name, but they killed off like damn near everybody they showed killing the Jedi was part of the council.
Yes.
Damn. Yeah, so, I was saying, yeah, she definitely looked familiar.
Deborah Balaba. They killed
Plo Koon.
They killed before the Order 66. It was someone named Apo Rancis, who's a huge snake person. He died, but they manipulated that. They killed. I want to say the Twi'lek was either Ayala Secura or I think that was Ayala Secura. She looked kind of green though. Ayala Secura is blue, but she looked a little green. But maybe because of the shade.
Talking about up on that planet with like the flowers and all that.
Yeah. Who else? Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And it was a Jedi on a speeder. But I feel like Palpatine is just so smart, bro. Like, okay, the reason why he knew the Jedi would never be able to find him, and this is something that goes into the philosophy of the light side. Are you still a light side user? Are you still fighting for good if you're killing good people for the wrong reason? So, like, the Jedi were fighting the Separatists, but the Separatists were right. They're like, hey, the Senator's bad. The Chancellor was bad, right? This dude is doing bad stuff. And they're like, no, we got to fight for justice. We got to fight for the Republic, right? And they're killing mostly droids, if not, they're killing droids, right? But, like, that in turn brings the downfall of the Separatists, who were the right one. Technically, you're not really light side no more. You're fighting for the dark side. So that kind of messed up their, because you can't really use all your powers, all your light side powers, unless you're steeped in the light side.
I can kind of see that. And I mean, of course, they're not like full-fledged dark side users because their intentions were right. Their intentions were in the right area, because if that's the case, then wouldn't their kyber crystals bleed red then because they're more dark side users?
So a kyber crystal only bleeds when you force it to. So the only kyber crystal that ever was that bled in canon currently is when Darth Vader made his bleed.
Yeah, that's when he got his red lightsaber.
Right, he put it on the altar and he forced it to bleed to turn red. You can still be a dark side user And like say, let's just say, you find a lightsaber, it's a green lightsaber, and you're a Sith, you can still use that.
You can take Anakin, for example, when he came to Vader and he was fighting Obi-Wan. He was a Sith, but his lightsaber was still blue, so that makes sense.
Exactly. And he was a Sith. You see his eyes, bro. His eyes were Sith for real.
I didn't notice that. I didn't even view that.
Yeah, you can still, and it's not a big, you can still do that. It's just their lightsabers are supposed to mirror kind of like your spirit when you first get it.
Yeah, and it can change too.
Right. The bleeding of a lightsaber is actually really new. That wasn't a thing at first because Sith never had true kyber crystal.
Yeah, theirs was synthetic.
Synthetic kyber crystals can only turn red. That's what that was about.
Isn't that why Kylo Ren's lightsaber is red because his was synthetic?
Yes. And I mean, Kylo Ren is just a sad puppy. Anyway, he didn't even know how to make a lightsaber, bro. You seen his lightsaber, bro?
I ain't gonna lie, I like that was cool how he had it in that last one. That was cold,
right?
Yeah,
I would love like if just imagine a clone having a baby with a Jedi, bro. That'd be raw. One of the 5.
That would be interesting.
5 true, able Bad Batch clones having a baby with a Jedi. That baby would be raw.
That would be interesting to look into. But yeah, but going back to what you were saying though with the Jedi though. So yeah, like in a sense, Anakin was right when he was like, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Now, his intentions was actually evil, but like you said, like the Separatists were in a sense right because they're like, nah, like Sidious promised us peace. What you doing? And then Anakin is just like slicing people. So I think to answer it though, the reason why the Jedi, specifically Yoda, couldn't really sense it was because in their soul, it's like their soul knew something about this isn't right. So we can't really connect you to the Force like you want us to because what you're actually doing isn't the right thing to be doing. You're using this ability for a war because even Mace Windu said it. He's like, we're keepers of the peace, not soldiers. So Mace Windu knew, but even then, like if you kind of notice, Mace Windu never was really the one to be like, okay, we're gonna go to war here. He was always the one that was like, okay, we're doing this politically. We're not doing this necessarily to go and fight a war. We're doing this for politics right now. And then when you think about it, and if you really think about it, should the Jedi really be involved with politics like that?
Well, no, they were never supposed to be. Now, before the Clone Wars, they were involved in one other war before the Clone Wars that kind of made them become a part of the Senate or the Republic at that time. It was the war. It was the Yinkor War or the Inchori War, and in this war, bro, it was like Jedi Council members, bro, died, bro. It was a great war. I hope they make something about this, bro. It's a great war. And after that, they felt like, okay, we should be more a part of the Senate so that this will never happen again. Although we're peacekeepers, if y'all ever need us, we're here. But they don't realize that if the Senate was ran by an oppressor, you are obligated to help that oppressor because of your oath.
Right.
But you shouldn't be doing that because, like you said, you're peacekeepers. They don't talk about how hundreds of Jedi left the Jedi Order because they're like, we're not about to join this war. That's not what we're supposed to do. And they just start roaming the galaxy, becoming real Jedi, right? There's real Jedi that were out there that the Inquisitors and Darth Vader have to go kill because they were not a part of the war. So they weren't near clones that have to kill them.
Isn't that one of the reasons why Ahsoka left was because, like, not necessarily just from that, but like it was also because that they didn't trust her because they I mean, it was some crime that they thought that she committed, but it wasn't her. It was actually another Padawan. But that's why she left the Jedi because she was like, nah, like you guys didn't trust me enough because you guys are sitting here basically playing politics. That's basically what it came down to. Is like y'all playing politics instead of actually paying attention to what the hell is going on. It's like we're supposed to be keepers of the peace, but yet we're helping out these people and who's in this political power. And if you only look and see what it's like up in other places, you're going to be like, wait, hold on, what you're doing is wrong. But that's not how I feel. That's not how it's supposed to be.
The Jedi felt they weren't, because Jedi powers, as a Jedi, you'll be able to sense a lie or sense like deception. And they weren't able to sense any of that when they were putting Ahsoka on trial, right? That's an issue, bro. You can't sense that your Padawan is telling the truth. That's an issue, bro. They fail from grace.
Which then, if you think about it, then Anakin, he was very strong in the Force when you think about it, because he was like, I knew she was innocent.
Well, from my point of view, trusted her. I think that
because he was like he was like looking after him and everything. Yeah, it could have been that. Yeah.
I mean, like, that could very well be like, just the relationship the two of them had. But he was also like, without any evidence, I just know. Same thing when he was like, oh, R2-D2 was missing again. And it was like, dude, you didn't wipe his memory banks after every mission? He's like, nah, because I got this feeling. Like, this is an inanimate object. And he's like, nah, I got this feeling. He's out there. I got this feeling. He's over here. I got this feeling. I'm about to go. So, like, Anakin has these feelings.
And eventually you see what ended up happening, too, right? Yeah, it's like for real, that is crazy.
The reason why I feel like Anakin, I love the character Anakin. Like, although he turns to Darth Vader and everything, like, Anakin literally is what we all could be, right? One wrong decision, bro, could turn us all dark side.
Right.
And then who we get counsel from could either steer us into the right direction or the wrong direction. Yep. Unfortunately, it was a double whammy for Anakin because he experienced something that drove him to the dark side, and then when he tried to get counsel, right, they wasn't trying to hear that. They was not trying to hear that because he like, okay, imagine this. He like, bro, I got a wife, had a wife for a few years now. I love this woman. We have a baby. What do we do? And they like, you're not supposed to have a baby. You're not supposed to have feelings. You're not supposed to have love. And my thing is like, bro, instead of telling him how to manage that, like manage that anger, manage that fear, they like, you're not supposed to have this fear. So keep on meditating about it so it could go away.
Right.
What? You're crazy.
And if you think about it, really think about it, the only one who was really on his side was Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan knew.
Obi-Wan
was the true side behind him, even after.
That's why in season 7 he was like, oh, say hi to Padme for me. He knew.
Yeah, bro.
He didn't know that he had a baby on the way. Well, he didn't know he had twins on the way, but he knew that he was in love with Padme. He knew.
Bruh, he knew the baby was her. He knew the baby was his. That's why he was like, Anakin's the father, isn't he? I was like, shit.
I mean, even in the first, he already knew he had feelings for her. Even like in the first like episode and everything they were showing us, or I think in episode 2 and all like that. So yeah, I think he basically just peeped this all. He probably felt it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he probably felt that emotions he had for her and all like that. So yeah.
Obi-Wan, I feel like one of my favorite, my top 3 favorite Jedi of all time is Obi-Wan. And one of the reasons for that is because he is what I feel is the epitome of a true Jedi. Like, a true Jedi doesn't fear the dark side, right? A true Jedi is apprehensive and cautious about the dark side, but they don't fear it. Obi-Wan never feared the dark side, bro. Obi-Wan never feared emotional connection. Obi-Wan never feared passion and those things. Obi-Wan was just like, I know what they are. I'm not going to fuck with it like that because, he's going to lead me down the dark side or whatever. Because Obi-Wan felt love before. Obi-Wan loved the Mandalorian president.
Yeah.
He loved her. Or the Mandalorian queen. He loved her. Right? He loved Quinlan Vos. That was like his brother to him. Like, he loved Quinlan Vos. He loved Anakin. You know what I'm saying? He loved Anakin for real, bro. Like, he vouched for Anakin on many occasions. He was like what a true Jedi is supposed to be, but he used that love and used that attachment for strength, not as a weakness.
And that was Anakin's downfall, right?
Was,
yeah, bro.
What did you say, T?
I say, yeah, that's exactly how, like how you said, because, like, that's basically how he was trying to get with Anakin, but he just had too much of his, like, emotions taking over, and plus it was so much about his past he didn't, like, know about, like, about his moms and all like that. Like, so much so they was hiding back from him, because they know how strong he is, you know what I'm saying? So they don't know this could set him off that certain way, and eventually it did, but it's like, they've been holding that back from him after all that time, though. But I'm like, is it fair for them to do that because they know how strong he is? You know what I'm saying? Like, they know how capable he can be, whereas most people take too much clout of his judgment, where he can just completely turn and all like that. So that's what I was always wondering when I seen that.
Oh dang, I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, so with Obi-Wan being like that though, oh, here he comes.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you good.
All right, so just imagine this. Imagine this. How different Star Wars would look if they made an exception for Anakin to get some pussy? Think about it. He's the chosen one. You ain't gonna make an exception for the chosen? You tripping, bruh. I'll be like, bruh, you can have a wife, kids, do your thing. And you know what sucks? This is what really freaking sucks, bruh. They made exceptions for other Jedi.
If it was the last of their kind, yeah.
No, bruh. Oh, well, you talking about Ki-Adi-Mundi?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because look at it this way. They made an exception for him because he was the last of his kind.
Well, he wasn't the last, bro. They made an exception for Ki-Adi-Mundi because his culture deemed it so. So his culture, the women are 12-1. The women to men ratio are 12-1, bro. So his culture is like, we need more men so that we could keep on repopulating our planet, right? Because there's so many women and only a few men. So his culture is like, you got to keep on having babies, bro, until you get a son, right? And Yoda and the whole council knew that. So he had 12 children. Or 11 or 12 children.
But either way, they still made the exception.
Right. So my thing is like, bro, he the chosen one.
Okay, so wait. Let's look at it this way then. Is it possible that they would have let Anakin slide if it was just like, you can, like, okay, you're going to have this baby, but because you had this baby, but you didn't love her, you'd be okay. Because if that's the case, if the other guy was doing it just to help repopulate his planet due to the culture, he may not very well love the person that he's with. He could very well just be like, repopulating with whoever. Because they didn't say that you're not allowed to have, like, I guess, like, physical feelings, like these physical, like, attraction. You're not allowed to fall in love, which is stupid because, I mean, come on.
No, bro, they do say that. They say you can't have attachment. So you can't have any attachments. They were like, they didn't say you can't have attraction, right? Because attraction is like instinct. But they say you can't have attachment. So you can like.
But attachment is who we are. I mean, I know this is Star Wars Galaxies here, but I mean.
It's like, no, it's a very, like, forget a human thing. It's a very, I don't know about, I say this.
It's a normal thing for a living. It's normal for a living species to have.
It's normal if you are living in the universe, you have to have some sort of attachment.
Bruh, my cat has an attachment.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could be attached
that's real.
A guy, attachment to a person, attachment to something that you do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's killing me because like, bro, I would have given him an exception. I would have been like, all right, bro, all right, and he joined the order. Hella later, I would have been like, all right, bro, I get it. You already had a mama. You know what it is to live in the world, live it as in poverty. And because Obi-Wan gave him an exception. Obi-Wan let him slide. Obi-Wan know he was sliding those cheeks.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan know he was sliding in those cheeks.